What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Laces Out podcast. This is week 5, and who's with me this time is actually we got J-Bunk in here, and we don't have Water Boys, so it's kind of like a flip-flop as of last week. But welcome back, J-Bunk. Good to have you back. I see you're wearing the Braves gear. They're playing right now. What's going on, man?
Good to be back, man. Hate I missed the last 2 weeks? So it's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, man. Time's flying too.
Good to be back, and yeah, go Braves.
But you've been still plugging in your boom and bust. Hasn't going the best.
I could have just not done it, and I would have as good a record as what I have.
So basically, if anyone just joined right now for the boom and bust and trying to, do it with us, you'll still probably have a better record at the end of the year than Bunk, unless Bunk might have a comeback. Maybe this week's boom and bust might be a little bit different. Who knows?
I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars of boom and bust picks.
You're the opposite of a 4-leaf clover. There's no leaves on that clover, and
it's a dandelion. It all got blew
Hey,
away.
but I will say, both of us have a win now in fantasy football in that one league, the UCFL. What we talk about. Both of us got a victory last week. It was nice. I beat the 3-0 Fink and Stink, and you took out our co-host Waterboy, and that's why I think he left. He might not come back. I think you just ruined him.
Yeah, I feel bad for the commish, man. He is he's down hard.
Yeah, you hate it, but somebody's got to be dead last. So.
He's had his fair share. He's had his run of horseshoe up his butt luck. So
that's for sure.
He's bound to circle around eventually.
For sure. Well, let's just talk about a little bit about week 4. Anything surprise you? Any maybe players stood out, or any games stand out to you?
One of the games I think it's going to be a shootout is Atlanta and the Jets. Both terrible defenses.
Terrible
really
teams.
Both crappy teams altogether. But
that's just a shit show. We didn't even want it in America, so we're like, send that game to London. We don't want it here. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people's not even gonna wake up at that 9:30 Eastern time to watch that game. Like it's just like kind of I wake up, I'm gonna see my phone like, oh, cool. The highest point person we'll talk about later that I had actually as one of my picks on the boomer bust is Mike Davis, and I think he's gonna have a good game. But other than that, Ridley's out due to personal reasons, and Pitts hasn't really been playing well. Maybe it's his boom time. I don't know, but that's for this week. I was talking about last week, Bunk. What anything?
Oh, my bad.
Any games stand out last week?
Carolina and Dallas.
Everybody's
talking about how Dallas is so good, which I mean they are. They've got a good team. But I want to hand it to the Panthers, man. They stayed in there with them. Down. Only ended up losing by a touchdown. People underestimating Sam Darnold. He's throwing the ball over the place. He's rushing for touchdowns. DJ Moore is having a freaking unbelievable season. Christian McCaffrey probably going to miss this week again, but should be back next week. And I think we start rolling again, man. Might pick up a couple losses here, but
I'll touch on that game a little bit.
Chances.
I mean, the one thing the Panthers did well, they played defense. I mean, just that whole first half, they played well. But the one thing that was our kryptonite as a Panther fan, as you see everywhere, was tight ends. And I think that still could be our issue this next week. I think that's where we're going to get attacked, is in between the seams. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like the Eagles' offense has really figured it out yet. But, I'm waiting on – I feel like if they're going to try to pick us apart, it's going to be through Miles Sanders and Dallas Goedert. Maybe Ertz as well. But I think we got the corners locked down thanks to the new addition with Stephon Gilmore earlier this week. So I'm happy for that addition. Obviously we still got C.J. Henderson that just came along board, A.J. Boye, and we still got Dante Jackson. So, hey, Panthers stepping up, making a step forward for the defense, even without C.J. Horn. So, I'm excited for this week for the Panthers. I do think they pulled this one out. Last week, like you said about that Dallas game, I actually had them losing, so it kind of worked out exactly how the game was going to go. Now, I didn't know about how well they were going to play them in that first half, but other than that, yeah, man, I was pretty happy with it. Yeah, not the result, but I mean, good efforts. Right. But so this week you're talking about the Jets and Falcons. Any other games, or also players that maybe stand out?
One thing I'm curious, just because I have him, is Elijah Mitchell. He has been ruled active, so going up against a tough defense in the Cardinals, with the addition of J.J. Watt, they got a very solid front line. But not as concerned about production as I am Share. Does he retake the number one spot? Does him and Sermon split 50-50? In-game script could determine that, but I'm curious to see what kind of backfield share he gets. So I'll be keeping my eye on that. What about you?
True. For me, I'm gonna go with Damian Harris, man. I think. Everyone's writing him off right now, and I'm looking at his stats right now. That's why I'm looking away. But his last two games were not good. He got 3.6 points last week, and the week before 2.1. But you're looking at the teams who they're playing. They're run stuffers. New Orleans Saints, run stuffers. Tampa Bay, run stuffers. What do you expect? That's why he only had 6 and 4 attempts in those games. And then whenever you see him, whenever there's a heavier workload, he's putting up the numbers. So against the Jets in week 2, he had 16 attempts with a touchdown, got 12.9 points. And then against Miami, week 1 had 23 attempts and got 10.7 points, and that was without a touchdown. So, I think he's a good runner. I just think the last 2 weeks have been just not ideal for him, and so I think going into Houston this week, I think he's gonna have a really good performance. Mac Jones, he showed us a lot against Tampa. I think he's got it. I think it's gonna open up the run game for my boy. I hope so, because I got him in a couple of leagues. So Damian Harris is who is on my radar this week.
I agree. I'm a big Damian Harris fan. I had him, prior to you getting him in our league. The only thing that I hate for him is that they don't utilize him in the pass game, and I feel like they could. He's got that athletic ability, but it was James White and now it's Bolden. And so that's the only thing that sucks for him. Not a knock on him, because I think he's got the ability to do it. Mm-hmm. It's just for whatever reason, the play calling they take him out on pass down. So
we were talking about this earlier. Also, we kind of both feel the same way about Jacobs and Miles Sanders. Both of those guys, they got the talent. The talent is there. Jacobs and Miles Sanders. We've seen what Miles Sanders can do, in the past, and Jacobs as well. We've seen him do great things, but I think it's just they're setting them up for failure on these play callings, and you hate to see it, but eventually when they have the right plays, they're gonna boom. But right now, those three players have been struggling: Damian Harris, Miles Sanders, and Jacobs, and they're kind of all around the same realm in that running back stage. So look out for these guys, though. I mean, they all have the talent, but just not the game script yet. Hopefully the coaches and the play calling can go their way here in maybe this week. Could be next. Who knows? Maybe they'll never figure it out. I don't know. But either way, let's get straight into the boom and bust. This is the favorite segment of the show, as we always say. But before we say who we have, and we also have Hex's pick as well. Don't have Water Boys yet. We'll see if he can make one. He's actually, not in his house. So I don't know where he's at. I know he's on vacation, but either way, I know he's having a good time. Not really worried about NFL. So we'll see what his picks is when he gets back. But let's go show these records real quick. Now they're on our screen. Bunk, I know. I mean,
I mean, we could have skipped that part.
I know you want to skip it, but see, this is the one thing I'm actually winning in fantasy right now, and in fantasy football and it's not a good record to have either to be winning at all. As I'm 3-5, and J Bunk 0-8, Waterboy 2-6, and Hexorcist 1-5. Honestly, you could catch Hex. You could catch him this week.
Picks,
So. So maybe, guys, you might want to fade or do the opposite of what we're telling you guys what the boom and busts are. But either way, the wherever you take it, it's entertainment. We're here, guys. Have your questions in YouTube or just what do you guys think of the show. But anyway, who is your boom of this week in Week 5?
Speaking of Damian Harris and Brandon Bolden, I'm going to take Bolden to boom, man. He's only projected 7.4, I think.
Yep.
And, I mean, last week he put up 9 in limited action because it was his first game, since James Whitehead got hurt. I expect him to be more involved in the game this week. I do think your boy Damian Harris is going to get a lot of runs.
Yeah, I think
they're going to be in the lead.
I think you're right. I think it could be both backs getting a little bit of love. I mean,
yeah,
like you said, Mac Jones has been doing all right, but it's also like he's not going deep. I mean, there's nothing that has really got. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do think there's gonna be a lot of dump offs and a lot of just running down the throat. So I'm sure they're gonna get both timeshare. But in 7.3 is pretty low for some guy who's filling in for a guy like James White. We'll see. My boom, I'm going to have to go, obviously we talked about earlier, I kind of brushed up on it, but Mike Davis, they just have him too low at a 10.4, and I really think he could put up at least 15. All he's got to do is just get down the field and maybe break away for a touchdown. And he's not getting these goal line carries, but I really don't think he's going to need it in this game because of how bad the Jets are. I just think it's just going to be a running game for probably both sides. We'll see. Now the Jets, they might be throwing, but I'm not sure. I know the Falcons will run, though. Without Ridley, without Kyle Pitts, or with Kyle Pitts only, there's really nothing else to go to besides Mike Davis and Cordero Patterson, who's already off to a great start. But I think Mike Davis also getting some dump offs, he might break away too. So
I would like that. He's in my flex this week.
There you go, man. He's a good flex, by the way, guys. If you do have him, throw him in there. Obviously, depending on who you have, I can't really say that. But what about Bus, man? Who is going to tank in Week 5?
I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara, man. I don't trust. I mean, he's had a good game or two, but I don't trust Jameis Winston.
What would say the line?
He's projected 19.4.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
But Jameis doesn't dump the ball off like Drew Brees did.
Right.
So that to me that limits Kamara's value because that's where he gets a lot of his points. Like
that's
dump off,
scared me.
Yards after catch. He just doesn't strike me as a between the tackle kind of runner, So I think that takes a lot of his game away. And he's going up against Washington, who, doesn't have the best defense, but they have a solid defense. So I just think his projection is higher than what I feel like he'll reach this week. So I'll go with the boom.
I'm with you, and this is actually a guy I just traded this week.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had Kamara and traded him away for a little bit more of a more balanced and kind of a safer play. Like you said, it's like Kamara. I do believe he's a great running back. I just don't believe he's the top of the top anymore. Without Breeze, that's why I kind of gave him a chance. I got him to Week 5, and I'm looking at his numbers now, like 16.6, 5, 19.3, 12. So it's like, yeah, he can get up in the 19s and high, but also can some of these other guys like who I traded for Daryl Henderson, and then also got Calvin Ridley in that deal, which I'm happy with. But I don't know,
Freaking
man.
amazing deal for you, by the way.
Yeah, I really like that deal, but a lot of people are a lot higher on Kamara, so I think that worked out. So, but yeah, Kamara 19.4. That's going to be a tough threshold to break, especially to boom on. So why not hit the bust? So he's got to at least get 19.4, which I don't see it happening as well. Well, my bust is Mr. Mike Williams. Playing for the Chargers. Right now they're sharing the love. We finally see Jared Cook, as soon as I drop him, actually score some touchdowns, actually get some touches. And guess who paid the price for not getting the ball because Jared Cook gets it? It's Mike Williams. So now that just shows me when Jared Cook is getting the ball, Mike Williams might not be getting as much. So depending on the game script, and this is where I think it's going to be an Eckler game. You have the Browns, who are a great pass rushing team. You got to get rid of the ball. Who are they going to pass it to? Number one, Keenan Allen. Number two, Austin Eckler. Those two guys are, I think, going to have good games. But who's going to suffer? Mike Williams. And, I think if they're toward the goal line, it's just a 50-50 between Mike Williams and Jared Cook. So we'll see. But, I don't see him reaching 12.4. I just think they have it a little bit too high.
Yeah, I agree with that. Herbert's going to have to get rid of the ball quick, and Mike Williams is more of a long pass target. So, yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Well, and it's also because, they're going to have – I think it's going to be a shootout. So I think it's going to be a lot of running the ball. I think the Browns are going to be a team who's going to keep the ball on the ground like they always do, and they're going to run that clock out.
Baker's out.
Yeah. So we'll see. But, yeah, that's my prediction on the bust. And let me go ahead and let you guys know Hex's so we have it on record. So we don't try no bullshit after this. So his boom is Crowder, which is 8.8. He just got him. I think he just picked him up as well in the UCFL. 8.8 for Jamison Crowder, and which means he's got to get 5 points over that number, guys. And bust is DJ Moore at 14.9, which I think he's going to mess up on that bust. I think DJ Moore, I think he's a dude who's going to be getting the ball a lot this next game against the Eagles. Remember, their run stuff is good. I mean, so whoever is running the ball, could be McCaffrey, could be Hubbard. We don't know what the workload would be, even if McCaffrey does play. So it's like kind of toss up, and they're going to be running into a wall. The Eagles look really good on the front line, so they're going to have to throw a lot. Who's the first guy they look to? Obviously, this season is DJ Moore. Maybe last season I would have said Robbie Anderson, but Sam Darnold's loving some DJ Moore. So we'll see. Hex says he's gonna bust. He threw his little hex on him. I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna do, but that's it, man. Any final thoughts before we call it a show?
Just one game I'm kind of keeping an eye on is the Chiefs and Bills game. I think those are the two best teams in the AFC, and Chiefs haven't been playing like it, man. So I'm curious to see against good competition against Buffalo if they can find their moxie back and prove that they're the top team in the AFC, or if Josh Allen proves that Buffalo is for real.
Well, that's the AFC. I kind of want to switch on over to the NFC before we go. Let's kind of talk about that Cardinals and Rams game last week. Cardinals showed up, Rams not so much, but guess what? We just watched Thursday Night Football last night, and the Rams looked decent. I mean, they looked decent. Seahawks looked all right. I mean, thing is, which really sucked for the Seahawks is, Wilson going down, and, the Rams just kind of, they did their defense kind of. So, yeah. And then toward the end, they picked up on offense. I will say that once they needed to get down the field, it was just quick. Whenever they just needed to get it done, they looked back to normal. But the Cardinals shook them up, I thought.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a tough division, man. Freaking Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. I mean, that is just a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Um,
And all of them are like playoff teams, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, I would say, Cardinals have proven that they're the top team right now. I mean, they're the only undefeated team. But then the Rams close second, and then probably the Buccaneers third in the NFC, and then I don't know. What do you think? Cowboys,
Did we have Packers in there?
Packers, yeah.
Packers up there. The only thing is, without Jair Alexander, and then them, not having an opportunity to pick up Stephon Gilmore, I don't know. Their defense is gonna have to hold, but they did get a pickup. I forgot. I think they just got another. There you go, and that's gonna be huge for them.
Cowboys.
That's gonna be really huge for them. So we'll see if that helps their defense without with the loss of Jair Alexander, which sucks. But it's one of those things. I feel like that was my Super Bowl pick to go in. I had the Browns winning it all. I still think the Browns are tough, man. I think that's a team that can run, but I don't know. We'll see, man. Like you said, that NFC is pretty stacked and just only in one division right now. So that's kind of crazy.
It's gonna be tough for the Browns, man. With Baker being hurt, we'll have to see what kind of timeline his injury. It's his shoulder, so I mean that's pretty serious for a quarterback. So
he don't need that.
We'll see how it goes. Kind of like a finger, like Russell Wilson last night.
Yeah, that's tough. Quarterbacks are going down.
But we'll see.
Shout out to the rushing quarterback leader, though, Sam Darnold.
Sam the man.
Dude's got 5 rushing touchdowns, man. Lamar, what are you doing?
The most in the NFL, man. Even more than running backs.
It's crazy, man. Well, Sam, you keep on doing it, man. I'm gonna keep on cheering and just watch this stock keep going up. But anyway, man, that's week 5, guys, of the Laces Out podcast. I appreciate Bunk coming on as always. And Waterboys will, get back from your vacation. Hopefully, maybe get you a win here this week against the Hail Marys. So, right now I think he's off to a good start. So hopefully all these co-hosts can have a win under their belt by next week.
That'd be nice.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like and tell your friends. We'll see you guys in next week, week 6. Peace out, guys. Good luck.